Alright, next stop of the day is the big boy, El Morro, another big Spanish fort. When you're walking down there along the right side, the whole way is this colorful community called La Perla. Oh, it's got all these colorful buildings right up against the shore, and it's known for drug trafficking. Oh, but man, look at this. American and Puerto Rican coming at you, a frickin' basketball court, skirted by the ancient Spanish sea wall. Damn! Now, after a little graffiti, we're at Santa Maria Magdalena Cemetery. Built in 1863, the cemetery is home to Puerto Rico's most honorable corpses. Wikipedia has only this to say of the genesis of the cemetery. The colonial Spanish government at the time construction of the cemetery commenced viewed death with fear because it was a mystery. Anyway, the place just can't take a bad picture. You got this forest of sun-bleached monuments caught between a blue Caribbean sky and spongy green turf, and the Atlantic is pounding the coast a few feet away, shrouding the whole affair in a fine sea spray. It's great. No wonder these dang chomos see this as a proper threshold between the living plane and the spiritual one. Dang! Anyway, here's some pictures coming at you. My boy's over here exploring. My man Luke seemed to have a case of the heebie-jeebies clomping around this place, but that's because he's a Polish Catholic. My boy, the Prince of Will County, is a historian, so he loves studying up on grave monuments. Oh, salt-caked lantern and garita. Vintage that boy up. Here's a sweet rotunda, the PWC and my trail buddy breaking into it, a bust of a buster, just playing, storm clouds rolling in, the PWC reviewing some pics. Let's try to frame this a little bit better next time, okay? Now we're heading up to El Morro across this big old field. Here's some video of the seaward side of the place I took when we were here in 2014. El Morro, or the Promontory, was started in 1593 and added onto over the next 300 years. It's meant to defend San Juan Harbor, which is to the right here. Here's some more footage from 2014. The killing grounds in front of the fort make the walk up to it long, but it's pretty sweet to imagine being some sunburned English dude back in the day, marching that whole distance with your arquebus, while your boys around you succumb to whiff after whiff of grape shot. See what I mean about that sea spray? Shoot. El Morro was attacked by noticed English bad boy Sir Francis Drake in 1598. It was attacked again in 1625 by the Dutch under a dude named Boudewijn Hendricks. Booty Hendricks. Shown here, running for his life through this exact spot. Here's a sweet iguana we saw. Now we're walking through the gates here. Make sure not to own yourself on the fort. My crew was pretty tired at this point, so I went ahead and farted around with the PWC. For you preservation nerds, they have some pretty good displays about how they preserve this pile. Not seeing any stuff about kissing girls here though, sorry. This museum part's alright. They have it tucked away in a dark corner and there isn't too much info. There's a sweet bronze cannon from Castile though. I think the inscription on it said it was finished in November of 1793. Both forts are pretty sparse on displays and info for their size. Here's some footage from 2014 showing off the gun batteries. Note the little tracks for the modern guns. My trail buddy's sticking a GoPro out of one of the garitas. Did I make the margarita joke? I did. Here's one of them facing San Juan Harbor. My large father and uncle are with me. Here's my large uncle dueling me with his camera. This next part's pretty sweet. You can go down in the hot bowels of the Citadel and see where the original fortifications were. Know what it is. Know what it is. It was just a dinky little tower, and now it's a big boy. Better yet is this big old hunk of shrapnel embedded in the wall from when Uncle Sam went wild on Puerto Rico in 1898. It's pretty hard to convey just how monstrous El Morro is. Be prepared to do a lot of climbing if you go. So now it's time to grab a taxi over to the port so we can board our ship. Here's some more shots I popped off on the way. Kitty cat alert. Why they'd advertise having bad ass coffee. Now getting on the ship is a roller coaster of emotion. At first it's a pretty routine vacation ritual. You just traveled a long way, you're not used to the heat quite yet, and you're hungry. But before you can address any of those needs, you gotta dig through all your shit for your driver's license and passport and check in at the front desk. Things are a little worse on a cruise though. You get to the pier, and even if you're leaving from a rich port like Fort Lauderdale, the facilities are never that nice. You climb down out of your cab, hurriedly palm the driver some cash, only to turn around and see a Children of Men-esque situation of apparently well-off cruisers waiting to get processed through what appears to be an ad hoc facility for doing in a few hours what a regular hotel front desk does in a week. You get in line, and you gotta hand your bags off to some chump, and you don't have any cash left over to tip him. Then you get x-rayed, get your holes checked. You might be a platinum boy like me, which cuts the wait time to almost nothing though, which is good. You go up to the desk and a smiling cruise employee checks you in as efficiently as possible. They hand you a form asking you if any of your holes are leaking, because if they are, you'll be the one solely responsible for another outbreak of bad press for the cruise industry when you give the whole tub norovirus. The concierge links your credit card to your room, takes your picture on a webcam, and issues you your C-Pass, basically your driver's license, credit card, and room key all rolled into one. The only thing you need to carry when aboard the ship. Things are getting better, the bureaucracy works. They tell you you're all set, welcome aboard, please head up the escalators to your left, but your brain is shit, so you turn right for a second and then you look like an idiot. You go up the escalator and a foreign guy in crisp khaki shorts grabs you and puts you in front of a backdrop. He pops off a souvenir picture of your pale, sweaty body for you to laugh at later when you're tan, drunk, and full of prime rib. You go up another escalator and there it is, that big white fucker, like a mirage. You pick your way closer to it, marvel at this skyscraper floating sideways, impossibly. You cross the threshold between that crappy pier and the deck, pristine and Scandinavian. Another good boy slides your card to add you to the passenger manifest. You go through the doors, get a dousing of air conditioning, laden with the gentle scent of environmentally friendly cleaning products. And somehow, things are good, and they will continue to be good. It's not just relief of conditions that washes over you, it's the transcendence of them. You look like shit, you feel like shit, but you know where you're supposed to be and where you're supposed to go, so it's all good. I'm almost totally sure the experience is extremely intentional. Anyways, we found our way to our cabin. Our steward was a Macedonian man who, like all people in his niche profession, was unfailingly helpful, efficient, and friendly. We pulled a neat little trick and booked a window room right at the front and side of the ship, where there's this little bit of extra space that gets added onto the cabin. My sister did it too. About 45 minutes later, we had to do the muster drill, which is kind of a sucky part of the boarding experience. The captain sounds the alarm, you file down to a predetermined meeting area for your part of the ship, get sorted into a smaller cohort, and wait for everyone else all throughout the ship to muster as well. After about 10 minutes, the captain and crew explains how your life vest works, how things will go in case of emergency, yada yada yada. You won't die, but probably.
To minimize the risk of any potential fire situation on board, it is absolutely forbidden to throw cigarettes or any other smoking materials overboard from open deck areas or from your stateroom balcony. Please smoke.
After that, we killed some time on the bow of the ship, which is almost always empty despite being the best part of the whole thing. We looked out over San Juan, steeped in the sound of the coqui, Puerto Rico's native frog. Before dinner, I shut off my phone and put it away. Probably the best part of the cruise. Oh, what it is. We're about to be getting underway. You can hear all the noises. Our boy out there has done the mooring cable. I think that's...
Are they, like, taking the ropes off?
Yeah, he's down there.
Ooh.
They're probably taking up the anchor or something. Oop, they turned off the lights. They're gonna be pissed at me. They're like, oh, I could see your light. See here it says, Dear guests, at night the light from your cabin window reflects on the bridge, which can make it difficult for the navigating officers to see forward. Prevent this from happening. Jeez, man.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
They didn't do the horn though, I guess because it was late, but here's the horn from 2014.
No, just kidding now.